U.S. President Donald Trump. Reuters President Donald Trump's aides and confidants are increasingly worried about his mental state after days of erratic behavior and wild outbursts. No one knows what to expect from him anymore, one former White House official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal conversations about the president, told Insider. His mood changes from one minute to the next based on some headline or tweet, and the next thing you know his entire schedule gets tossed out the window because he's losing his S. Trump has spent the last several days fixated on his false claim that Alabama was going to be hit by Hurricane Dorian. He's also taken time to lob attacks at his perceived enemies, like the actress Deborah Messing, former FBI Director James Comey, and the lamestream media. He's deteriorating in plain sight, one Republican strategist who is in frequent contact with the White House told Insider on Friday. But one person who was close to Trump's legal team during the Russia investigation told Insider his public statements are nothing compared to what he's like behind closed doors. He's like a bull seeing red. There's just no getting through to him and you can kiss your plans for the day goodbye because you're basically stuck looking after a 4-year-old now. Visit Business Insider's homepage for more stories. President Donald Trump's aides and confidants are growing more and more concerned about his mental state following days of erratic behavior, wild outbursts, and bizarre fixations. No one knows what to expect from him anymore, one former White House official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal conversations about the president, told Insider. His mood changes from one minute to the next based on some headline or tweet, and the next thing you know his entire schedule gets tossed out the window because he's losing his S. The president's advisors are particularly worried about his stubborn refusal to acknowledge that a tweet he sent over the weekend claiming that Alabama was going to be hit by Hurricane Dorian was false. They believe that his frustration is compounded by stress about the 2020 election and the economy's recent downturn. People are used to the president saying things that aren't true, but this Alabama stuff is another story, the former official said. This was the president sending out patently false information about a national emergency situation as it was unfolding. Read more. Trump may have committed tax fraud by fabricating a loan to avoid paying income taxes on nearly $50 million. Trump's latest outburst on the matter came Friday morning, as he railed against the media for fact-checking him on the claim. The fake news media was fixated on the fact that I properly said, at the beginnings of Hurricane Dorian, that in addition to Florida and other states, Alabama may also be grazed or hit, he tweeted. They went crazy, hoping against hope that I made a mistake, which I didn't. Check out maps. Trump went on to complain that this nonsense has never happened to another president. 4 days of corrupt reporting, still without an apology. But there are many things that the fake news media has not apologized to me for, like the witch hunt, or Spygate. The lamestream media and their Democrat partner should start playing it straight. It would be so much better for our country. He's deteriorating in plain sight. As of Friday afternoon, Trump had posted 12 tweets and 5 maps about Alabama and the storm to try to prove his original tweet was correct, despite the fact that he'd been publicly rebuked by the National Weather Service. He also showed reporters an altered map of the storm's path on Wednesday to defend his claims, a move that may even be illegal according to federal law. He's deteriorating in plain sight, one Republican strategist who's in frequent contact with the White House, told Insider on Friday. Asked why the president was obsessed with Alabama instead of the states that will actually be impacted by the storm, the strategist joked, "You should ask a psychiatrist about that, I'm not sure I'm qualified to comment." Read more. Trump may have broken federal law by altering Hurricane Dorian's path on a map to validate his false claim that it could hit Alabama. Trump often airs his grievances publicly, either on Twitter or while speaking with reporters, which means the world has an unprecedented window into the president's stream of consciousness. For instance, on Labor Day weekend, as Hurricane Dorian battered the Bahamas and made its way to the U.S.'s mainland, Trump took breaks in between golfing to fire off more than 120 tweets. In addition to updates on Hurricane Dorian and TK fawning praise of his presidency from Fox News, the targets of Trump's tweets included former FBI Director James Comey, 4 freshman Democratic congresswomen of color known as the Squad. AFL-CIO President Richard Trumka, failing New York Times columnist Paul Krugman. Amazon Washington Post. The Lamestream Media. Liberal actress and activist Deborah Messing. Read more. Trump advisors are more worried about Elizabeth Warren than any other 2020 Democratic candidate. He's like a bull seeing red. Messing provoked ire from both sides of the aisle when she posted a tweet last week calling for a public list of Trump donors who will attend an upcoming fundraiser for him in Beverly Hills, California. The Will and Grace actress tweet drew a harsh response from The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg, who likened it to the McCarthyism of the 1950s. Trump had Messing on his mind as recently as Thursday, when he referenced Goldberg's comments and tweeted, "Bad actress Deborah the Messing is in hot water. She wants to create a blacklist of Trump supporters, and is being accused of McCarthyism." The president also latched onto another tweet Messing posted in which she praised a sign in front of an Alabama church implying that black voters who support Trump are mentally ill. Messing later apologized for recklessly sharing the sign and added that its use of the term mentally ill was wrong and hurtful. Trump called Messing a racist because of the terrible things she said about blacks and mental illness and added that if the actress Roseanne Barr, an avid Trump supporter, had said the same thing, she would have been fired. Barr was fired from her sitcom last year for making racist comments about an aide to former President Barack Obama. Will fake news NBC allow a McCarthy-style racist to continue? Trump wrote, referring to Messing. The actress responded by linking to a New Yorker piece this week detailing Trump's wild behavior over the last month. She added that she hopes his family gets him the help he needs. Sad. Read more. Trump said he skipped a diplomatic trip to monitor Hurricane Dorian. Then he spent the weekend golfing. Anthony Scaramucci, the former White House communications director, also weighed in on Trump's state of mind on Friday. "I think the president is in severe mental decline, and I'm not saying that now because I'm a political adversary or I disavowed him, I'm saying that objectively just looking at what's going on," Scaramucci said at the Toronto Global Forum. This isn't the first time questions have been raised about Trump's mental state and his fitness for office. In fact, Trump's mental stability is a regular topic of discussion in the White House. This was confirmed by the anonymous author of an infamous 2018 New York Times op-ed who said Trump's aides routinely ignore or dismiss his orders for the good of the country. Michael Wolff's Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House, and Bob Woodward's Fear, Trump in the White House detailed similar instances. And the former special counsel Robert Mueller also found that Trump's myriad efforts to obstruct the Russia investigation were largely unsuccessful only because his underlings refused to carry out his directives. One person who was close to Trump's legal team during the Russia investigation told Insider his public statements are nothing compared to what he's like behind closed doors. "He's like a bull seeing red," this person added. "There's just no getting through to him and you can kiss your plans for the day goodbye because you're basically stuck looking after a 4-year-old now. Let's block ads. Why?